and we're done. We can just I can nikomboke che.
Nani yasira yasira. Boss ni wewe.
Anyways, in case you don't know, we do have Tim. I don't know. You know what's funny about life? Is sometimes you see people achieve the highest form of self, and the biggest part of you is like, I want to be that.
You remember the time Colette Ambako said, yeah, Black Life? I was like, I want to become a musician.
I want to do music.
There was so much greatness backstage. I couldn't even understand the language, but that just music itself, the fire, the performance, jumping. I'm like, I should stop this radio business. I want to become a rapper or some singer. But anyway.
We have Tim. You know, like there's not a way that I can introduce you without saying where you're from, which is Zonefam, and Tim from Zonefam, who's now doing gospel music and is doing so many things. I just
do I sound muffled?
Yeah, you do sound muffled. But anyway, thank you very much and welcome to the official Z Top 20 Chart Show.
Thank you for having me, guys. It's been long overdue.
You know, I mean, last time Tom told you, but unfortunately, you know, you had other stuff going on. Twali kwata po Xerox studio, twali po na Young Verbal, Ali Shide. Then it's like we have the full Zonefam who has visited the top 20. Once somebody to pay their side of story in terms of their lives, for and stuff like that. Manje Iwe as Tim, tell us. Where were you before? If you're Zonefam, if you're Queen and stuff like that, one bit pesa.
That's because because I've been dealing with music for as long as I started recording professionally recording. I got into studio and did my first song at 14.
Ooh. Wow. Where was this?
What is it?
Kablonga.
Where
in Kablonga? Okay. A friend of mine had a studio. 2003. So it's been music since then. And I used to dance as well. So it was that, and school as well. Myself, Jay, and Sam were at Kablonga Boys. So I knew Sam from school because he was a prefect and he punished me once. Yeah. So
did he pay you back for that though?
But after school, I went to Zika's. Sam and I met at Zika's again.
Did you punish him this time?
No. Like I'm just waiting.
Yeah. Let's just wait for that one moment.
But so it was that from uni. Music just took off.
But I want to know, what was the one thing, you know, that made you say, you know what, I want to be Tim and Tim's going to be a rapper? Was there a specific moment? You know, other people say, I had a dream, you know, and I had this. Pompey's story of even how he got his name was that he had a dream. In the dream, people were laughing. I think people were laughing at him that they were calling him Pompey. So he went to tell his boys, and then his boys said, you know what, that's what we're going to call you, and that's how come the Pompey name came up. I want to know what your story was. Let's talk about it from the start. Before you were even rapping, what's the story? What's the one thing that made you say, you know what, I think music is what I want to do?
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Michael Jackson. We had these VCR videotapes of Michael Jackson concerts, and so I used to play those back to back and just learn all the moves and all the choreography.
For a rapper, Michael Jackson's a big fan.
I mean, I wasn't a rapper at the time.
Okay.
So the dancing was very big. I was very big on dancing, and then having older brothers, man. You know, so my older brother used to play Tupac. From Pac to like Bob Marley to Biggie to Norris, man, to you know. So I started to 1990, I think 1999. DMX put out his first 2 albums that year.
Okay.
And that's the Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood was the very first album I bought with my
money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had in 500.
But
You know?
Mm.
And then my cousin got the other album. Was it And Then There Was X? I think.
And then there was Exit.
Yeah. If not, then it's Dark and Hell Is Hot. One of those two. It moved to DMX. From DMX, then you start watching Channel O, Ja Rule's Holla Holla comes on. You're like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
You know. From there it goes into Eminem. Now Eminem, I was very intrigued. You know, because how is this guy able to put words together
like that?
Fast.
Not fast. There's a certain way in which he plays with words, and it's just it's incredible. It's incredible, you know. And that's where my love for words came from. So I got a few Eminem songs, and I started to rewrite the lyrics as I could hear them and rap along. And from there, man, from there I went to Cisco. And then from Cisco, it was back to Michael Jackson, and then, you know. But I knew at that time that I was created to do music. It's something to do with music. Exactly. I just didn't know at that time what it was. Yeah, but shortly after that, man, I was 14 years old. I stepped into the studio, I wrote some lyrics, and from then on.
I know Kablonga, and I know people from Kablonga. You guys always thought you were the ones. For some reason.
I mean, because I guess we were.
But was it for the girls, the rapping? Was it for Yamagero or did you know that at some point you'd even end up winning an Africa-wide award, you know, when you were doing that?
No. So when I started, it was because I wanted to listen to myself.
Oh.
You know, I'd listen to Eminem and all these guys, and I'm like, man. You know, so it wasn't about girls or anything. It was just like I'd love to hear how I would sound on a beat. So after that, I started writing lyrics and stealing people's beats, and
don't we all?
It was that I'd find someone making beats on their computer that have beats on a CD. I'd steal the CD and go and record music on the beats and such, but it wasn't about the ladies, no, it was really just self.
Okay. And then the folk with Shira at the time, you know, during the Zonefam, how was it? How did you start? How was it?
I met Reggie at the studio of Chillenge. There was 2-1, actually 2-1, the group that ended up just being Critic and K-Star. Originally was quite a bunch of rappers, and then there's a studio, they had a studio in Chillenge, so they decided to do a mixtape called Berg City on Block. This was, I think, 2008. And so I got a call from K-Star, and he invited me to their studio. When I went there, that's the first time I met Reggie, verbally. And then the next day, Sam and Jay came in to record as well for the mixtape. And shortly after that, I bumped into Sam at school again. So,
Sam is Dope G, right?
Yes.
Yeah, who I just was there.
Yeah. Okay, so I bumped into Dope G again at school, and we got to talking.
At Zekas.
At Zekas, yes. And then, weirdly enough, I was on a bus. I'm on the bus, and it stops to fuel up at the gas station at Arcades. So I look to my right, and I see Rocks. I'm like, yo! Yo! You know, so he comes to the window, we exchange numbers. He's like, yo, I have a little setup I record at my house. So let's do something.
Whatever you
like,
can.
yeah, I was actually talking to Sam about this. So After that, I went and I recorded with Jay, and Jay had already been recording with Reggie.
Yeah.
Because they were already Zonefam.
Oh,
I was the last one to join.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, Zonefam started as Alkanai and Hosta. And then from Alkanai and Hosta was Alkanai, Hosta, and Sam, and Dope G. From Alkanai, Hosta, and Dope G
Alkanai,
to Jay.
Yeah,
Jay, Reggie, myself. So yeah, we recorded a couple of songs, and then we had a meeting, and after that it was like, okay, so I guess it's about to be 6 people now, right? Yeah. So, and that's how Zonefam became 6 people. Along the way, it became 7 people, and then it became.
What was the 7?
Her name is M.A.K. She's a DJ now.
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay. Cool. DJ,
Amazing.
scratch DJ, radio.
Yeah. Radio DJ or DJ club.
No. She
Scratch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but she left. She went to school, and now she found her passion, which is DJing. So she's amazing at that.
Okay.
Really.
Talk to me things that were happening. How was that experience like? For a guy who, if you
from Kablonga,
I always feel like if you go to school, there's certain expectations that come with you. You know, if you're going to think as obviously someone out there is like, oh, you to go to school, and then you're there singing,
rapping.
What is the problem?
That stopped the day my mother watched me perform on Big Brother Africa.
Ooh.
Yeah, but then before that was a
Before
long
that,
journey.
Yeah.
Before you guys performed.
Because that happened 2011. So all the way to that point, it was always like, yo, get finished.
One.
Wow, nice.
Like, you need to trust me. Please trust me. I'm good at what I do. Please.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, it was hectic. As it would be, I guess, with any parent. You know. Because you're paying for your child to go to school.
Yeah.
And then your child's going to school, but they choose to rap.
And then at the time,
And
rap was gang music.
You know, so,
But you know, Fiamma owns.
yeah, and at that point, I was now. At that point.
Why did you call yourself Thug?
So before I was. Firstly, when I started rapping, I was known as Toxic. Yeah, I was known as Toxic.
Yeah.
Team Toxic.
No, just Toxic. Yeah,
Okay.
just Toxic.
Okay.
But then I heard of another rapper from Nola,
Who are they to Toxic?
who's also Toxic, and he could also rap. So I thought, here it's either we go at it for this name, or I just decided to call myself something else. So I started to call myself Young Thug. This is 2006, 7.
Why was a thug very significant?
People would call me Young Thug before I started to call myself that, because I was a pretty small guy, but the things that I was saying
Were thuggish.
yeah, they weren't, you know. So people started to call me that, and then the name stuck. From Young Thug, it became Young Thugger. From Young Thugger, the young just fell off.
Yeah.
And then from Thugger, I thought, hey, I might as well just I'll just go by my name.
Yeah. I when I think about the whole process, it's a beautiful thing what you guys achieved. I mean, your videos were dope. The things that you got, the awards, you guys performing, Big Brother, and everything, all of that, to leave it. How hard was it for you?
It was push and pull. Because firstly, I'm now at this point where I feel, okay, this feels like the end of my journey, of this journey.
Music.
No, not music. That phase. Just, you know, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, I feel like I want to make music differently now. And the Lord just hit me right on the forehead. You know, he said, okay, so now's the time. You have to do it. This is 2014. This is at the height of Zonefam, at the peak of Zonefam. Yeah, so it was difficult. You know, but I mean, I had the conversation with the guys. Everybody was supportive, and we decided at 2014 that okay,
this is it. We share a time what to decide over gospel artists. Why Kusenda in your way? Is it because you felt like maybe in Bonanage to the Shadi, okay, or maybe you were not born again then?
No, I wasn't born again. So influence, power. This one time, what is somewhere, I think Kawata or something, for a show. And then this guy came, not Kolwa, you know, bottle in his hand, and
wait, by that time you were not born again, right?
No. Okay. He was drunk, this guy, and he had a bottle in his hand, and he saw me, you know, and to him it was like, whoa, you know. So he was shaking. He started to cry. He's like, you know. So I tell this guy not to, you know. We start to converse, and so I did random guys and you know. And I'm looking at this guy, but instead of joy, I feel like, what am I, you know? How am I helping this person? How am I helping this person? You know, so at that point, it started to grow. It started to grow. And then, that's how I ended up in staff down.
How does that, you know, the gospel community, because really there's a community everywhere. In the secular music world, there's
cliques everywhere.
There's cliques everywhere, and for me to join into the circle, I better know someone. How did these people receive you as a gospel artist? Coming from a very, very successful group, and you know, I think at the time you guys were also shaky, everybody else was doing whatever it is that we're doing. The conclusion might have been that you guys were both leaving the group because you guys were not making as much or were not doing all those things. And now, were people saying that you're running away from that because you feel that the gospel industry will be a lot easier on you?
Bro, there's no way I was going to run from something. I had verses from international features in my email for Zonefam. You know? Yeah. I was in contact with most of these guys. How am I going to then say, oh, this is not working, and move from it for financial reasons or whatever other reasons people want to give? That's simply untrue. You know, because with Zonefam, when we started, it was never about money. It was, we had a dream. We shared a dream, common goal, you know, and so money wasn't it. It wasn't about money, no. It was difficult to leave because this is still something I've been doing for, you know, since like what, 2008, 9 when I started recording with the guys, and this is 2014, 5 years. So, you know, I feel like, how am I going to navigate these waters? What's going to happen with my relationships with the guys? You know, but man, if you give everything to God, you have nothing to worry about. Everything went well. When I made the switch, I was received very well. I was received very well. Yeah, and see, it always takes someone who was there, you know, to kind of pull you in and be like, no, get comfortable.
Yeah, who made you comfortable?
Pumpy.
Okay.
Who made him comfortable? Abel. You see, so it's a chain. It's a chain.
Yeah.
So, it was good, and it's been good.
Okay.
So apart from Mushilebanga, which is your recent track, share what from your Colombian boy since you became the gospel artist.
One other song, Heartbeat, na Pompi. This is 2017, yes. And then Mushima.
Just so.
There's been a couple other songs. Features and all of that.
Yeah. I put a hold on putting out my own stuff for a while.
Why?
Doing features. Why?
Yeah.
Because I know what I want my album to sound like, and because it's my first album, it's going to determine what sound people will know me for.
Yeah.
And I needed things to be in place for that to happen, because my album's going to sound predominantly jazz.
Yeah.
So the only thing that's going to be plotted is maybe a kick and a snare and a hi-hat. Everything else is played live, from the bass to guitar to keys to saxophone to violin. Everything is live. So with that, that's costly. So now if you're doing an album and you have so many songs, it'll take a while.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so getting down to about gospel, whatever judges and for Zambians, not just Zambians, everywhere. You what is story born Toila for DJ Man and Ndiwe, right? For Dingeman. Share abantu balakujeja no, you're still working with secular artists, then you're gospel artists, because but it's also Ephraim got Mbena, maybe yesterday na Mambi to Ambisha Kulandalanda or Kings Manemi Balandalanda. Like, did people say something but in Wokumbana to secular music?
I wish they would. Because I think
for real,
I wish they would, because it's a conversation that needs to be had.
Let's have the conversation.
Why are you standing on high ground? Why are you on a high horse? You get what I'm saying? Why are you living? Why are you expecting other people to live by standards that you don't live by?
By the time someone is texting that, they probably have a bottle of alcohol in there.
So, and there's also, if you don't want me to make music with this person because they don't make Christian music, they don't make gospel music, how then do you expect, for instance, God to touch you? Who is going to do that? But when you're in studio making songs, conversations start. Many things happen in the studio. That's how you get to minister to people. You plant a seed right there. You get what I'm saying? But now if you say, oh, I can't work with so-and-so because they don't make gospel music and I make gospel music, so we can't mix. I understand that, and God has given all of us different paths, and I feel mine is to bring people into people want to close off the church like it's a closed group. It shouldn't be that way,
Jesus himself was a friend to thieves and harlots and tax collectors and all these other things. So.
But I mean, I guess people just say that so they can feel good. We're here to minister to each other. So being a musician doesn't make that an exception. If you work in a building, one of you guys may be saved, and the other one isn't. And then someone's going to ask you, "Oh, ninshu bombe na
Who dying him?
You get what I'm saying?
I get where you're going with
Where's
this,
the sense?
It's okay.
So, but let's talk about Tim's normal day. What's your normal day like? For some reason, just because you say you're a gospel artist, people always think every day, even in your car, you're just like preaching.
I wish. I wish.
What's your normal day like? Does Tim get upset? And if it does, what makes him upset?
Tim gets upset. Tim gets upset. I just hate, I dislike when I am made to feel like my emotions are invalid in whichever way. The same way you want someone to hear you out, be prepared to hear somebody out. So it's things like that. But I wake up in the morning, I pray,
Is that the first thing Uchitanga Wabuka?
Yeah.
Or maybe check if you're alive.
Okay, so when I wake up, right? I grab my phone.
That's a very silly question.
You check if you're alive. Papa
Jesus, you she's selfie.
Can we do? No, you're here to stay. No.
Yeah. But hey, if you see or if you've heard of people who have fuck when I'm 10 minutes. Those people who have stories of going to the other side and being told out.
Yeah, it's that beautiful.
Nobody wants to come back.
Oh yeah.
You wherever you check, whoever has a near-death experience and they experience
that I went and found some.
Yeah. They experience what many may say the light.
Yeah.
Once you go there, you're told it's not your time, you won't want to come back.
When
you come back here, it's like
yeah. But what's Team's future like? You know, where are we going with this? You know, are you
album this year.
Okay.
The album's coming this year, and then there's so much stuff.
Okay.
So much stuff, yeah.
So in case you are approach to be signed, would you love to be signed? Or maybe a property number or if
Man.
Don't ask me who's A, don't just.
But see, here's the thing.
Okay.
There isn't just A or B.
No, like there's a lot of labels. Let's just say maybe the white or the red one. Fans and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you are approached.
And
the reason why we're asking this is because a lot of people have been approaching a lot of some people have not signed and all of that. But if you were approached to be signed by any of these record labels, of which I need to know whether you are signed yet or not.
Yeah.
But if you were approached first,
I am signed, but it's not to either one of the two.
Okay. You signed to who?
I can't say.
Yet.
Okay. I like that.
Oh, yes.
Yet is good.
Okay, so I learned that for Perfect when we were starting that he was influenced by Eminem, things like that. But before I can ask you before what is going on social media right now? You want to work with what's his name again? Dax?
No. So here's the thing with Dax. I have received at least, and I'm being realistic with the numbers. From the time that whole Dax thing started, I have received at least 150 to 200 messages from people.
That's one banana.
Saying, oh, yo, look at this. Or Tim, please reach out. Or Tim, please. Or you would really do well. Or we feel like Zambia needs this. Or yeah. So that's what led to me saying, okay, well, so I've heard, and if it's open, I'm ready. If it isn't, let's move on.
It is what it
So
is.
guy open, you would work with him.
Yes, I would work with that.
Okay. So
for those of us that don't know who Dex,
some guys Mukai. What's his name? Killer did Kashino 200 Alimu Wimbo, or he did a freestyle about him. Umupondo.
Oh, yeah.
Check it on YouTube.
Okay,
I think. Yeah. So Nale Mona hype on social media. I was like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? And then I checked him out. He's really good.
He's a rapper.
He's a rapper. He's very known actually. And I just matter, which is working very well for him.
But then in the process, you know what I mean? And then I want to get back to the road where I want to be a good man, I want to be faithful, I don't want to cheat. I don't want to
cheating.
Look, so
my God,
I said
my girlfriend is
I
listening right now.
I said on KB's The Last Dance, salvation is a walk and not a contest. And there's nothing God loves more than work in progress. So you can't expect not to fall. because you're driving this shell that is sinful. You know, it's just what's happening in here, what's happening in your heart, where are you? How's your relationship with God? See, even when you feel that you're furthest from God, furthest from Him, He's reaching out to you. He's trying to get your attention. You know, and most of the time you feel you do something you know you weren't supposed to do, and then the guilt hits you, the shame, and then you stay in there. That's the problem. You know, please don't stay there.
Okay.
No matter how bad you feel, no matter how bad it looks, you should know that whatever that is that happened was paid for 2,000 years ago. It was paid for. So it shouldn't bother you.
You got in Congoli when you're not supposed to.
You know?
Respect.
It was paid for. And if you want to argue that it wasn't, then it means Jesus coming and dying
was not necessary.
You know? And we read the Bible like it's an old book, like a storybook. But these things really happen. You know, and this stuff is happening today. So I'd like to say, please just, even when you feel like you don't want to pray, even when you don't feel like you want to pray, and there's those days. I have those days. You know, it's just when you tell people that you're a Christian, people think, wow, this is like God's favorite. This guy just wakes up.
It's rough.
Flush to the bathroom. You know? But that's not how it is. I live life just like the next person. I get angry, I get sad, I get tempted, I get happy, I get joyful. I go through all the motions. You know, it's just I know that I'm not doing. It's not for me. It's not. You know, I know why I'm here. I know what's happening. I know what's going to happen. I know what's happened. I know why it's happening.
Okay.
You know, so ngabali kulangati mlete ya bola man. Then you're told, okay, so what's going to happen is bola yanwi kapwa 5-0. Mkawina by 5-0. Okay. When you play the match, are you playing it stressed out?
No, sure.
So why do we then get born again and feels like we have to stress? We know how this ends. You know, we know how all of it ends. From the beginning, we know how it started, we know how it's going to end. So why are we troubling ourselves apapakatia? You know? Because even if you're tackled in that match, even if 3 of you guys get red cards, you still know that somehow
it's gonna be 5-0.
Even if it's like 82 minutes and it's like 0-0, you still know. Up, Pashala 8 minutes.
Yes, sir.
5 goals are coming.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? So we shouldn't allow for culture and society to dictate such things for us.
Okay. For today prediction, I'm going to what future plans? Mkwangu fianya na yes, mkwangu fianya. Wafia. Niche food was to expect from team, and what else are you gonna do? Like apart from the album dropping, what else should we expect? And
workshops, master classes, speaking engagements. I want people to know that Jesus loves them. You know, I didn't get your because this stuff happened 2,000 years ago. You know, say I'll use for Michael Jackson. I talked about this even in the interview with Edna. You know, as time goes, you start to feel like imagine kids who will be born 100 years from now.
Tell them about Corona.
You know? Yeah.
I'll be like, Dad, get out of here.
Like,
that's the story.
Yeah. You know? So, I think just being able to help people see the reality and feel and experience the reality of Christ coming here and why he came. You won't want to live another day not enjoying why and enjoying what Christ left and why he came and all of that stuff and where we're going. So that's what I want to do, because I know there's so many people who want to grow their relationship with God, but they're stopped. Why? Maybe I don't know. Some people.
Well, sometimes we just
the church doesn't allow for that to grow.
But most times it's just our own baggage. Sometimes it's the memory of what I did that's very vivid, in correlation with what is, right? Which is what you just talked about, which is very powerful. And I wish a lot of people would keep reminding us of this. But it's what happened. It's like, say I beat up someone yesterday, and then today, that it's too clear that I sinned yesterday. How is this forgiveness supposed to rub off?
You know, one of the hardest things to do is forgive yourself. That's very difficult. And we need to open up about these things, because they've led so many men and women into depression, suicide. You need to forgive yourself, and it's not easy, but you need to forgive yourself, because if the creator of all of these things, because I mean, look, this computer, the microphone, the sanitizer, the phone, everything was created by
God,
somebody, not a man, right? A man, but for some reason we fail and we refuse to accept that this whole joint that we live in was created by God. It's evolution. There was a Big Bang. How did the Big Bang come about? Firstly, there was nothing. And then it blew up.
Who blew it up?
There was nothing. And then it exploded.
And then started forming itself.
And then it started to form itself. There was nothing. How make it make sense?
Look, dude,
you know?
we have to let you go.
So yeah, thank you for having me.
My producers are texting me all over. Like, yo, it's dope. we have a very a bit of thing at 15:30. But I want to say thank you very much for coming through, man.
Hey guys, thank you for having me.
This is by far one of the most
insightful,
I would say deep conversations we've ever had with an artist. And to think that it would come from you was very, very far. And
that's how God works. That's how God works.
I've not been away California for this. I'm like, yeah, let me just translate it for cars.
Go ahead. And then
for coming through, and also just making sure that you're here on time, and in a story the Nepal ones I was taking notes, not just a listen. And the Nepal ones I was taking notes, and for me, I'll be one of those people.
Yeah, we want to be. We could.
In fact,
we want to host it.
We need to host
a listening party. We want to be the ones.
We want to be. I'll cry.
But yeah, let me go ahead and play this song second called Heartbeat. At this point, Tim had very short dreadlocks. I don't know what he'd been doing to his dreadlocks.
Right?
Let's go ahead and do it. The song is actually called Heartbeat. The features Pompey, and this is the official Z Top 20. Ciao, ciao.